In this video, we're going to start talking about classes and objects. Classes and objects are a quite tricky concept in object-oriented programming, but they are essential, and it's something that you need to get yourself a lot of practice in reading and writing. I'm going to assume here that you have read the appropriate chapters and notes. I'm not going to go over the preliminary ground. I'm just going to start working through some actual examples that are different to the ones that are present in the notes or in the example programs. A class is a way of representing data and code in an object-oriented programming language, and so far we've been using them essentially to represent complete programs. But now we're going to start building programs that consist of more than one class. We're going to start off by thinking about how we'd represent data about a country, and we're particularly interested here in three different pieces of data about this country. We're interested in its name, its population, and its area, and there's a specific reason for that which we'll get back to in a later video. So I've created an empty class, and how do I actually represent the data? Well, I start off just by doing this. Sorry about that. So a country has a name, which is a string. A country has an area, which we're going to say is an integer. Of course, it wouldn't be an exact integer value in reality, but near enough for now. And it has a population, which is also going to be an integer. So rather than writing a main method or other methods in our class here, we've just written these three variables. Now, up to now, we haven't written variables inside an actual class itself. We've written them inside a variable within a class. So this is rather different. Previously, we'd have done something like public static void main, and we'd put our variables in there. But we haven't done that here. We've put them outside. And in fact, at the moment, we haven't even got a main method, although I'm going to write one in a minute. When you start putting variables outside of methods in a class, we tend to call these things fields, okay? And we'll see how to use these in a minute. So I'm going to start by writing a main method. Now, the first thing we need to do if we're going to use one of these classes is we need to create an object of that class. If you read through the notes, you'll see that a class itself is kind of like a template or a specification of an object, and the actual object is the actual data itself, the thing that we're actually interested in. And the way we create a new object of a class is to use the keyword new. So I'm going to type in here tree, and we're going to pick a name. Let's say Wales equals. This allows us to go away and create a new object called Wales of class country, and using the new keyword basically says go away and make one. Okay, so we've now created our country, which is empty, and that's the key point. Currently it's empty. It doesn't have a value for the name, the area, or the population because we haven't given it any. So the next thing we need to do is actually populate these values, giving them some kind of data. And the way we do that is we type in the name of the object, Wales, and then if you notice you use something like NetBeans, it actually gives you the three things that we typed in, area, name, and population, at the top of this list. Okay, we type name equals. So now the actual string called name will contain an actual value, Wales. I can do the same with the others too. Wales dot area. Google tells me that this is 20,761 square kilometers. I haven't specified units here, but we'll assume square kilometers. Java doesn't care. And then we can do the same with the population, which again Google tells me is 3.063 million. Okay, now this notation with a dot is something you've obviously seen before. Every time you've gone away and created a scanner, when you've written scanner in equals new scanner, then later on you've gone in dot something. Now the dot something has always been a method with brackets around it, but fundamentally you've been doing the same thing when you've done called next line or next int with a scanner, as we're doing here. You're saying take a particular named object, in this case one called Wales, and refer to the part of it which in this case is the name, a string within this thing. Okay, so now we're going to show what we can do with this. I can do just do the name for now, and if I run this, we can see down here it prints out Wales when I print out Wales.name. Of course, I can do the same with the other ones too. And again, I can run this, and now it prints out Wales 20,761 and 3.063 million.